Buying new construction can come with a ton of pitfalls that will cost you a ton of money down the road. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that you need to expect when you build the home that you're looking for. We're going to talk about new construction, homes already there, what you should expect from the builder, what you should expect from closing, everything kind of in between. But the main thing here is I just want to make sure that you are prepared so that you have the best experience possible and you love the home for years to come. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dolan, your Boise realtor, and I help clients through this process every single day. So if you have any questions about moving up here to Boise, new construction, whatever it is, drop us an email down below. I would absolutely love to hear from you and see how we can help. And if as you're watching this video, you enjoy the content, you learn something, or you just want to be friendly, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe down below. That is the best way that we can tell which of these videos is actually hitting what you want to talk about the most. But today we're here to talk about new construction and everything that you should expect as the buyer going through the process. When I talk to clients about new construction, everybody tends to fall into one of two groups. On one side, there's everybody that would only buy new construction. I would put my wife and I in this camp now that we've had a couple of new construction homes. They want to be able to pick everything. They want to know that all of the issues in the home were caused by them. They just like the sexiness. They like that homes are newer. They like the process, whatever it is. There's a big portion of people that are like, that's where we want to be, new construction all the way. And then there's people on this end that whether it's from their parents, past experiences, news stories, whatever leads them down this path is, I will not touch new construction with a 10-foot pole. Builders are out there to get us. They're going to put the worst project possible. It's way too expensive, all sorts of things on this side. Now, if that's where you're at, cool. There's a whole resale market that we can work with. So don't feel like you have to go new construction. But some of the things that we're going to talk about today, I want you to avoid this side of things. I don't want you to feel like you're taken advantage of. I want you to be happy with the home that you end up with. And the first thing that you need to know about new construction, actually building your home, is the time horizon that it'll take for you to actually get your keys and move in is much farther out than that typical resale home. On average, and this comes down to the level of builder that you choose. Are we talking about one of the big boys? We're talking about the big production builders that are doing a ton of homes. They have a really efficient process. We're going to be looking at around 6 to 8 months for them. If we're looking at the fully custom that are allowing you to draw your own plan, they have to do permits, all this extra stuff, those can take up to 12 to 14 months. So all of this means is that you have to be a little bit more patient on the new construction side. It sounds really basic and obvious, but sometimes people forget it. They have to actually build you a home, and they can't do that within the next few weeks. So you just have to know, plan ahead, make sure that you have everything in place. And this is why sometimes it's better to get started a little early, because it's very easy to slow your process down and push out kind of when you start your search. It is very hard to speed that up. When people reach out, a lot of times they're like, hey, I'm 3 to 4 months away. We absolutely love new construction. Fantastic. We're going to be looking at spec homes. We're going to be looking at homes that are already under contract or under progress that the buyer backed out for some reason, whatever. But at that point, we are already crossing off in an ideal world, those full builds. Without getting into the weeds of all of this is a different video. There are always avenues to make all of these timelines work for you. There's short-term rentals. There's all sorts of different kind of bridge ideas that can get you up here to start your new job, for example, next month, but you really want that new home that's not going to be ready for 9 months. We'll work through it. We'll figure out exactly how to make it happen. But when looking at that ideal world of wanting to move up here and move right into the home that you chose and absolutely love, you got to think ahead. Tell me that you're 2, 3 years out, and we'll make sure that everything is prepped so that we know exactly when you want to go into contract to line everything up. Now, once you're in contract and we've already decided, hey, we're good with the time frame, we're starting to pick the builders, we're starting to look at all the floor plans, the lots, the neighborhoods. Once all of that is done, there's going to be a lull in the entire process where you're going to feel like absolutely nothing is happening, and it can be kind of an anxiety-riddled, stressful time for some buyers. Before the process, before we get into contract, we are going to be in communication almost every single day. These are the builders that we should talk to. We have a meeting with this one. We're going to go out to this home. We're going to tour this. Let's go look at the design center. Let's do all of these things to get it ready. Once you have all of your selections made, once you have the home that they're going to build, there's always about a 2-month wait where they're getting permits. They're starting on your foundation. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes that you just won't see. And a lot of builders out there, and each builder has very different customer service departments and policies. But a lot of builders almost go silent for about 2 months. You'll hear nothing. I'll get a nice call of like, Chase, what the heck is going on with our home? We haven't heard anything. That is okay. This is a time where no news is truly good news. Once we get through that permitting process, that's when you're going to start to see more work being done. You're going to start to get better progress pictures. Tours will happen, more updates, everything will start to pick up. But just always know that there's going to be a couple of months where you're going to feel like very out of the loop. That's my job, is to try and keep you there and make sure that everything's on track. But it always tends to happen, and it's something that I completely understand and we'll try and work through. One other thing that I want you to know before you get into the new construction kind of process is, as you're going, and again, this all depends on which level of builder you're choosing, what are you allowed to pick, all of the selections, the colors, the floor plan, etc. Once those selections are final and we have our final set of plans, what the builder does is they start to contract out with all of the trades, the contractors that will be in your home, but they also start to order a ton of the supplies that they need. They're already putting in the order for the countertops, the lighting, they're putting in the cabinet order, getting landscaping ready to go. All of these things start to happen way before they actually get installed. So fast forward a few months and we're walking through your home at framing. They might have just put up the drywall, but nothing has been installed. There's no cabinets, nothing along those lines. The day before, you were watching HGTV and you saw these gorgeous green cabinets with the brass hardware, and you were like, you know what? That's a trend. I love that. But you had picked some nice wood cabinets with black hardware. You're going to walk through the house. You're going to look at me and be like, is there any way that we could make this change since they're not installed yet? That's just when I always ask you to remember, this cabinet worker has been working on your cabinets for 2 to 3 months already. We are way too late to actually make that change. So when we're at your design appointment, when we're making all those selections, it is very important to pick something that you know you're going to be okay with and be confident with that as you're going through. Your vision is going to come to life, but don't expect that you're going to be able to make every small change that you want throughout the process. There are different things of why builders just can't do this. It's going to cause delays. If they have to get new cabinets done, they now have to wait an extra 2 months for those cabinets to get installed. That's going to push the whole project back. It's going to be the extra fees. A lot of times, let's say that you want to change out a light. Well, they've already ordered the light. So yeah, sure, we can change it out for you, but you have to pay for that light that's already up there. And you also have to pay for the new one. So now your lighting and your overall bill is going up. And then the big one, and this really came after COVID, is just the supply chain. There are some things where garage doors right now is one of them. Garage doors are basically on an 8-month supply horizon. So they're ordering these garages basically the day after the plans are set. And there just is no physical way for them to get something much quicker than that. It's been lumber in the past. It's been countertops. There's always something that they know about. But if the supply chain is just backed up enough that they can't realistically get something in time, that's also going to be something that they just cannot accommodate. So if we're ever walking through your home and you're like, we just absolutely hate that, we always will bring it up. Most builders will want to make you happy and they want you to love your new home. And again, this is where a fully custom builder, they're going to be more accommodating with these things because that's kind of the experience they're giving. The production builders down here, they're going to be much less accommodating because part of the project that they're offering you and the timeline and the cost a lot of times is a little bit less due to the efficiency that they have in their system. The electricians go from this house to this house to this house to this house. If they have to jump back over here now, that's throwing off all of this. And that's just not the product that they're giving you and the need that they're serving in the community. So it never hurts to ask, but I just want you to know up front, the answer is going to be no more times than it's going to be yes. And there's a lot of big reasons for it. Now, when I say that you need to be happy and confident in your design selections, do not freak out. Most builders will have a professional designer, a design center to actually put everything together and allow you to visualize it. So you'll know, hey, there was a professional that actually helped me out and you're not putting something together that's just going to look like absolute crap at the end. They know this, they stay ahead of it, and the homes always turn out so good. And on that note of everything turning out good once we get to the end of the build and you're going to be very happy, when you're going through a build, remember that it is a construction site. So all of this work, everything that's happening, getting to that final vision, it is a work in progress. So to be completely honest, there's going to be times when we walk through the home and it's going to look like absolute crap. Everything's going to be a little crooked. The paint's going to look super bad. There's going to be things that you're going to be like, that is not the way that it needs to be. That is okay, and that is expected. So when we're walking through 7 months before closing, that isn't the time to say, hey, I think this wall didn't get painted with the second coat yet. The painter is going to come back. This is why it's so important when we're interviewing builders and we're picking out who you actually want to have build your home. You want to know, what is their process for this? When are they going to? So that you have that trust that, hey, I'm not going to point that out here today because I know they're still working on it, but I know they're going to get to it. As we get closer to closing, of course, all of this speeds up and we're like, hey, you have about a week left. Are you all going to get to that? Are you going to clean the windows? Are you going to fix this piece of flooring? That's when we'll be the ones that really stay on the builder. But know and trust the person that you hired. You know the end product based off what we toured and everything that you saw. They're gonna get it there. But this house that you're walking through that looks like absolute crap today, that is not their final product. So don't overly stress out. You chose them. Trust the professionals that are building your home that it will get there. And also know that there are avenues, ways of recourse as we get to the end that you are protected with. So we will get there. But again, it's one of those basic things. The home is a construction site. It's not going to be shiny clean every single time. And there are a lot of builders out there who actually control the process a little bit more than others when it comes to walkthroughs and when we can see the home. They do this because they want to present the home in the best fashion. The day after drywall mud goes up and it is just an absolute mess. A lot of builders will say, sorry, we can't tour this week because we don't want you to see that. We want to see it after it's been primed. They'll make sure that you get in. But as I was saying about interviewing builders, asking what their process is for walkthroughs and actually touring the home is a crucial question to ask upfront. Some builders will have a set time that you can walk through every week or two. You'll walk through with one of them. It'll be Wednesdays at 2 p.m. every single time. There will be others that are just kind of like, hey, we'll do it as needed. At the beginning, there's not much to see, so we won't do walkthroughs. Then we can do weekly as we get later. Some builders will allow us to tour after hours as long as I'm there with you. They'll give me whatever code for access and we'll coordinate times and we'll go out and walk through the home as much as you would like. Others will still do a similar process, but they'll add something that's like, hey, you have to walk through with a builder's representative. Sometimes that's just there so that they can have questions. They don't want to give out codes. They still own the home. A lot of times when we're doing walkthroughs, it can feel very frustrating that, hey, this is my home. Why can't I walk through it more? There's a few reasons for this. One, trades and the contractors in there, when they're working, we really can't be there. We just don't want to be in their way. We want them to be able to get the work done for the day that they're there to keep everything on progress. They aren't there to answer all of our questions. The tile person is there to install the tile. They're not there to ask, hey, what would this tile look like at the end? Is there a way that we can change it? Could we change it from vertical to horizontal? Those are questions for the builder representative that we'll talk to because they coordinate all of this. That is crucial because once we start talking directly to trades, it always turns into a he said, she said sort of thing. Well, we told the cabinet guy this, nothing changed. Well, nobody told the builder. So those are some scenarios why they kind of restrict the access. But the biggest one is the liability. Liability for the trades. While they're doing their work, they don't want the client there, the homeowner, because they don't want that added liability should something happen. There will be certain parts of the build right after framing when they're putting the trusses on, for example, that we are just not allowed to walk through it because that's when something can fall and hit you in the head. They want to make sure that you're safe, that you're secure. That's why they'll require their representative sometimes. That's why they'll require me. There are various steps that we'll have to go through. But just remember, same thing on the resale side. You don't officially own the home yet. They are still the ones that quote unquote own it. They're building it for you. So we do have to respect some of these boundaries. But again, ask this up front. I'm there to help you with this. We're not going to just go months without you seeing the home. But there are going to be some times where we actually have to coordinate along their schedule rather than them making our schedule work. And finally, one last thing I want you to know before even touching this process is basically every single builder, even though their policies, their processes are very unique to them, they'll include two things at the very end, basically across the board. First one being kind of right before closing. It can be the day before, it can be a couple of weeks. Right there when the home is complete, they'll do something called your NHO or your new home orientation. This is typically a meeting with the builder, the project manager, the building rep, the warranty rep. Everybody's there to kind of walk through the home with you, make sure everything looks good, that the home is done to your satisfaction. but also to make sure that any inspection fixes were done, any final questions that you have. They're going to show you where your water turnoff is, how to take care of your water heater, all of those things that you need to know as the homeowner. They're going to walk you through that. And then, like I said, there's going to be that warranty rep there in person. This is when they're going to explain whatever their warranty is. Most builders are going to include at least a 1-year warranty. Some include a little bit longer. Some include different things, 10 years for structural. Every builder's different, but that's why there's going to be someone that's there to explain the warranty. The day after closing, a sink stops working. How do you get that fixed? Do you call a number? Do you fill out a form on the website? What is the process for this? That is what they are there to walk you through so that you feel confident. Because again, when you're building a new construction home, we're going to have an inspection. There's going to be quality assurance, different city inspections. The home is going to be in really good shape, but things just happen. It happens in every single home, and that's to be expected. And that's why buying new construction, it's one of the pros in my book, is that you have a year to live in the home and have things happen. And most of the time, that will then fall to the builder to address. So be ready for that. Take advantage of the warranty. Get an 11-month inspection. There's a few things that we can do to really protect you and take advantage of this to the fullest extent. But again, those 2 meetings at the end are really one meeting. It all happens at your NHO. But those 2 parts of the process, you're going to find them basically across the board, but every single builder is going to be a little bit different. All right, but that's what I want you to know about what you should expect when building a home. I know that a lot of these things are talking about the worst case scenarios, the things that aren't great, the things that are going to cause some stress. But hopefully, you know, by this point, I am a big fan of new construction. I absolutely love working with builders. It is something that I just think it's a great product out there if it works for your timeline, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be completely perfect. So I'd rather you have the expectations here now up front so that you know what to expect during that 2-month window when you're hearing nothing. I'm calling you and just saying, hey, I've heard nothing either. That is completely to be expected. No alarm bells should go off. Those are the things that I'd rather get ahead of now so that you have the best possible experience and you're just extremely happy with the home that you have when you actually move in. If you have any specific questions or you want help with this new construction side, drop me an email down below. I will send you everything that I have on different builders, what you should expect, some more information, anything there. I can help in any way that I can, and I would love to. But until then, I hope you learned at least one thing that'll help your journey relocating to wherever you want to, but hopefully the Boise area. Watch one of these videos popping up to continue to learn more about our area, and I'll see you all on the next one.